Hey guys, you like donuts? I like donuts. That's not what this video is about. I just happen to be about to have a donut. Because I'm sitting in the park getting ready to start my day. And I drive up here, not every day, but I drive up here a lot, and I sit and I watch over this pond, and I watch the ducks swimming. It's just a peaceful place to go. And I sometimes come up here just to kind of clear my mind and gather my thoughts or whatever. Like a little escape, I guess. What I wanted to talk about today I'll just say this. Every single year, I set my kids down. I have 6 kids. And once a year, usually around the holidays, we get together as a family and I sit them all down and I ask them, what risks have you taken this year? Because I've taught my kids since they were little bitty that they need to be taking risks. They need to take risks in life. If you don't ever take any risks, you don't ever accomplish anything. You don't ever achieve anything. People that always play it safe never accomplish their dreams. It's just not a thing that happens. It's not a thing that can happen. And I'm happy to say that I have raised risk takers. And sometimes they succeed and sometimes they fail, but that's okay. Because every failure is a teaching moment. Every time I've ever failed at anything, I improved. Failure is the mechanism you really need to have. Like, it's the thing that needs to happen for you to ultimately learn enough to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And this is the message I give my kids every year. You have to fail. It's a thing. You have to fail. But the one thing I don't want for my kids is to spend so much of their life doing things that I did. You know, when I was young, I got my first really good job. I thought I was set for life. I literally convinced myself, man, I can just do this for 40 years and I can retire. That tells you how naive I was. I wanted financial security, or what I thought was financial security, so bad that I was willing to imprison myself in a job for 40 years to attain it. And when I think about that time in my life now, when I look back and I think about that, I'm like, God, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Not that there's anything wrong with working somewhere for 40 years. A lot of people do it and are perfectly fine with it. But I can't do that. I can't do something for 40 years. That's not even a possibility. You know, you only get one life. You only get one life. And I don't want my kids to spend that life working some job. Then that just be their whole identity. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly pushing them. I'm telling them to take risks and don't be afraid. Now that they're a little bit older, getting a little bit of pushback is, Dad, I can't afford to take a risk. I can't afford it. I need to make money. For the rest of your life, you will need more money. There's not going to be any time in your life where you don't need money. And as you get older, the amount of money you're going to need is only going to increase. If you're waiting for money, your money situation to get better, if you're worried about money, it's never going to happen for you. You're never going to achieve that thing you're trying to achieve, no matter what it is. And that's different for everyone, For me, I just want to be happy. Like, I don't care how much money I have. I just need enough money to eat and live. Like, I don't need a bunch of money. I don't need anything extra, is what I'm saying. I would rather have the amount of money I need to live and take care of myself, right? And have a roof over my head and eat. I would rather have that amount of money and do something I love and do something I enjoy and have a happy, full life than work myself to death chasing more money that I don't really need. You know what I mean? How much money do you need? So the excuse of it's not a good time, money's tight, it's not about money. Forget about money. And people will say, one of my kids said, what if I lose everything? I said, what if? What if you lose everything? So what? So what? You worked and you earned it the first time. You can do that again. You've done it once, you can do it again. So what if you lose something? Who cares? You're not willing to risk sacrificing something for your dream? Because those things that you're worried about losing are not your dream. They're just things that made you feel better along the way. They're things that you traded for your time and labor. They're not your dream. They're just material items that are going to degrade and rot and go away. They're not anything of importance at all. So if you lose them, you lose them. You start over and you do it again. So what? So what? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Stop clinging to the things that you own, I think it was Fight Club where Brad Pitt said, the things you own eventually own you. That's 1,000% true. That's one of the most honest lines in a movie I can think of right now. The things you own eventually own you. If those things are impeding you from chasing your goals or your dreams, then they do own you 100%. They own you. Anyway, wanted to say something positive today. A little break from politics. You guys have a great day.